If you hang around social media enough, you will see lots of brand loyalty. In some cases, it will be general statements like, European bikes are unreliable pieces of crap. Get a Japanese bike if you want your bike to last. Or the Eurotrash crowd will say Japanese bikes might be more reliable, but they are bland, boring, and don't inspire passion when you ride them. Often, it is brand specific. The BMW crowd might conveniently overlook a pile of issues and say it's still the best quality brand.
On an adventure to find the perfect cappuccino, brave the wilds of the suburbs in style with the GS.
Or the orange crowd will say KTM is the only option if you want real power and decent suspension.
White power suspension. You can't see we aren't trying.
And don't get the Honda guys started on the supposed invincibility of Japanese reliability.
Our latest Honda features new stickers for even more power. And we even included suspension.
When we choose a bike, we like to think it's a logical process. But of course, we are emotional creatures, and advertising executives know how to play us. That's why there is an advertising industry. The latest craze is to get pro riders on big heavy adventure bikes and do crazy stunts, riding the Pan America like a dirt bike, Pol Tarrés on the Tenere 700, and of course Tony Bow on the Africa Twin. Deep down, we know we will never ride like that, but there is always a secret hope that a particular brand of bike, riding gear or bling will be a substitute for lack of talent and turn us into a superstar. The advertising industry and dirt bike manufacturers love brand loyalty, as it's based on emotions rather than cold, hard facts. It means riders are likely to stick with the same brand regardless of its faults, how high its price is, or whether another brand could be more suitable. Every week, viewers ask me to recommend which bike would suit them. I just say the same thing over and over. If you are relatively new to adventure riding, the main concerns will be basics like seat height, overall weight, and what sort of riding you plan to do. Once you have decided that, you will have a few bikes to choose from. Generally, they will all be great bikes. If you can't decide, just pick the colour you like the best. And remember, it's 80% the rider, only 20% the bike. So focus on learning to ride better instead of marginal differences between the brands. The manufacturers know that many adventure riders have serious amounts of cash to spend, so they really work hard to convince us that we need to spend huge amounts of money to look good and ride like a champion. Give me a break. And remember, expensive bikes are often harder to ride. I hear so many riders say they started on a huge adventure bike that cost them a fortune. They eventually saw the light and moved to something cheaper and much lighter. Immediately, they enjoyed adventure riding much more. I know some riders have plenty of cash and love riding a brand others can't afford. If that turns you on, great. And there's also the fun side of brand loyalty. My riding buddies love trashing each other's bikes. 2 strokes versus 4 strokes, Eurotrash versus Jap crap, Italian versus Austrian. It's always good for a laugh, but deep down we know there is rarely much truth to the criticisms.
Boring never looked so good. We didn't fix the doohickey problem, or make any of the changes you requested, but it has a new color scheme. Kawasaki. Let the good times snore.
So, what do you guys think? Do you have a favourite brand, and why? What sort of things matter to you when choosing a next bike? Does brand matter at all?